Severe heart damage in otherwise healthy children? Oh, yeah, we've always had that. No, we haven't, actually. And Dr. Marty Makary was virtually alone in the medical community when he warned about the risks of this. He warned for months. In March, he wrote to the CDC and said, you've got a duty to, quote, rigorously study the long-term effects of vaccine-induced myocarditis. He was not celebrated for this. Of course, he was attacked, as always. Dr. Makary is a professor at Johns Hopkins and joins us tonight. Doctor, thanks so much for coming on and for sounding the call early. Is the idea going to be this is totally normal, it's always been this way?
Well, they famously downplayed it. The CDC director last year said if we vaccinate 1 million children, there might be 30 or 40 cases of mild myocarditis. And they said if you get myocarditis from COVID, that's worse or happens at a higher rate. But that's not true. The studies have come out. Europe reacted by banning the Moderna vaccine altogether in young people in many parts of Europe, and everybody under 30, and in other places, everybody under 40. The tragedy that we're now learning that there's significant heart damage, 31% of people having physical activity restrictions. The Seattle study, that 63% of children after myocarditis had evidence of heart swelling months down the road on MRI. So we were playing with fire. We didn't know what we were dealing with. They undercounted the complication rate, making the vaccine look safer than it really was, overcounting cases in young people and hospitalizations, making the COVID infection look more dangerous than it really was. And the tragedy is that we could have saved children from myocarditis. We could have protected this nation's children from myocarditis. We could have spaced out the vaccine instead of that narrow 3-week interval. No vaccine's given 3 weeks apart, and the myocarditis happens after the second dose. We could have let parents say, you know, if you only feel comfortable with 1 dose, it's okay to stop there. Instead, we put a gun to their head saying you got to come back in 3 weeks, and if you don't agree, you're in deep trouble. And we could have been honest about the risk. In healthy children, that risk is so low, it's lower than the risk of the vaccine.
It's shocking. If your child is heart damaged at the age of 14, how is she going to do at 50? I mean, no one seems to be thinking about the future. You have, though, and we're grateful for it. Dr. Marty Makary of Johns Hopkins. Much appreciated.
Thanks.